Glass, which is a stable communication and cancer staging tool. So it uses Google Glass as a way to connect an operating room with an analytics lab.
Mm-hmm.
So it connects an oncologist with a pathologist.
So mostly working on oncological surgeries, and we're trying to isolate it down to essentially any large tumor mass that is stage 1, stage 2, and hasn't really spread, hasn't metastasized to different parts of the body. That's where we feel our cancer models that we've developed along with, the OnClass app can really potentially make a difference within patient care.
One of the things we hope to do with this project is as we analyze a tumor, given its size, the augmented reality headset, the smart glasses would tell the doctor exactly how much they should remove to properly prevent recurrence. Because right now, as the surgery is done, as you guys know better than I do, you remove all of the dangerous tissue, but also adjacent healthy tissue of around 1 centimeter around.
Perhaps Matt can speak to the regulatory aspects of taking innovations within medical care here in the States.
Yeah.
Well, I think as you probably are aware, the FDA and a lot of regulatory bodies in the US are a lot more conservative, whereas in Europe they'll adopt things a lot sooner, which can be frustrating for innovators. But they've taken a more conservative approach, so we have to respect that and do everything the right way. And as soon as information comes into play, people get a little scared. So, if we're transmitting sensitive information, you can imagine a gynecological surgery, nobody would want a video of that out, in anyone else's hands or anything like that. We would have to remain within the healthcare setting and within a private sort of network of doctors that the patient is aware of. You know what I mean? You can't just use this information for whatever research without getting prior consent and that kind of thing. So that can hold us back sometimes. But I think as long as you follow the right channels, people are willing to sign consent forms that say, okay, I'm aware that people will be watching these videos for the purpose of education and research. And, for the most part, we don't have a problem. It can be kind of tedious sometimes, but I think it's worth it. It's worth the hassle. And hopefully people won't get too caught up being afraid of using this kind of technology to help with surgeries. Sometimes I think people get a little afraid of things they don't understand, and they think, oh, well, where is this information going? And they can go overboard and say, well, I don't want to use it because I think it'll get out there on the cloud or something, But it's, I think we should find a good balance so that we're able to implement it safely without, any leakage of information. And that should be very doable.
Just realizing that communication on every forefront really has the opportunity to save lives, time, money. That a program like this that hasn't been instituted yet really should be instituted as soon as possible.
I think whenever you're introducing something new to a surgeon, they're conservative. They take a conservative approach, and that's completely understandable. They're used to doing their surgeries one way, and even the smallest little thing. I was present for a liver transplant the other night. An all-night procedure that these doctors are just amazing at doing. And it came to the point where they needed to tie a little cinch around an artery. And there was something that they would use to tighten that down on the artery. And just the slightest difference in the tool that they were using to do that kind of threw them off a little bit. And they're like, well, this is not the one I'm used to using. And it came down to the diameter and the length and the stiffness of this one little tube. And you can imagine that if they're that used to using one type of device and they have to change, and that throws them off a little, it creates delays, it creates consternation, they worry about it, they think, is this going to tie this down tight enough? You can imagine the extent of the resistance to putting on a whole headset, potentially, that, it might throw them off completely, and, they're used to their little surgical glasses with the magnifiers and everything, and, you have to offer them a very real benefit before they'll take something like this and start integrating it into their surgeries. And you can't expect all of them to pick it up on day one. I think it'll be a gradual thing, and some surgeons are more willing to adopt new technologies than others to take that risky approach. So I think it'll definitely be a slow process, but I think that the benefits will outweigh all the disadvantages that they might see. And throughout the whole process, we'll be finding new pros and cons, and that'll be just, part of it. I think there's, in some way or another, it's going to be integrated, in time.
Technology. I also want to say that for us as a team to come together, from all these diverse backgrounds and now if you think about it, all these diverse cultures, like all of these wonderful people are in Europe, and we'll be connecting with everyone at the Watch conference, and to take all these ideas and see what success we've had, what failures we've had to overcome, what challenges, what lessons we've learned, and to all sort of interact and mingle with each other is an opportunity that I'm really looking forward to, and I'm sure I can speak for all of us that this is something that I'm so glad that we were all able to put together and learn from each other. This is amazing. Like, the impact that'll have for patient care down the road and for healthcare universally is something that I'm excited about. And we're excited, as a group to collaborate with other sort of driven and energetic groups. So we feel that it's great. We thank to you, Animec, of course, and I'm sorry I keep botching your name. I apologize. And then of course the Mobile Doctors for having this opportunity to come together, share our platform, and share our ideas. And we certainly look forward to meeting everyone in Amsterdam, and looking forward to have a great weekend. I've never been to Amsterdam, so I'm so excited.
Oh, you're going to have a good time.